Welcome to JSOM's tutorial on APA, how to cite and reference. This tutorial will cover citation and reference locations, the 5 elements in an APA reference, and we'll do a company website and a 10K for you, a citation and a reference, and then tell you how to get help for your citations and references free for JSOM students. So if this tutorial jumps a little too far ahead for you, you may want to go back and view on our website the video APA, the basics. So anytime we cite or use a source words, so this would be the exact wording from a source in quotation marks, or even if we take those words and we paraphrase them, restating them in our own words, or summarize them, we have to cite and reference. Even if we only use an idea from another source, we have to say where we got that idea from. So it requires a citation and a reference. Even images, any numbers we get, blogs, emails, on and on the list goes. Again, you can look at our tutorial on the basics to find out what kinds of information you need to cite and reference. But for the citation, that is going to appear at the end of the sentence in our paper in parentheses. The citation includes 3 elements: the author, or if there's no person, then the source, the year of publication, and a page number if there is one. Then, at the end of the document on a separate page called References, the full reference will appear. The citation's author or source will correspond with the author in the full reference. This reference list is alphabetized so that the reader can tell from the citation exactly where that source is going to be on the reference page. Now, there are 5 elements in an APA reference. This kind of breaks it down for you, makes it a little bit easier to know what to put in what space. So the first element is the author. The next is the date of publication. That's going to be the year, and maybe a month and day as well. Then the title of the work. That could be something like a book title or an article in a journal. The publication information comes next. So if I'm citing an article in a journal, the publication information would include the name of the publication or the journal, the volume, the issue, and the page range, perhaps. And then the URL or DOI. DOI stands for Digital Object Identifier, and usually peer-reviewed articles contain DOIs. So here's an example. Author, it would be last name first, comma, and the initial J. The publication date, beginning with the year 2022, July 18. Notice it's in parentheses, and at the end of this element, there is a period or a full stop. We put periods between the elements in our reference. The next is the title. So the title of this article is How to Use APA. Now there's a quirky little thing about titles of works in APA, and that is that you only capitalize the first letter of the first word. If you have a 2-part title, you capitalize the first letter of the first word in the second part, and proper nouns and adjectives. So we have not used title case here by capitalizing the U in the word use. Then comes the publication information. So here you see you have the name of a journal, you have the volume, the issue number in parentheses, and then the page range, pages 6 through 10. And then finally, the URL or the DOI, in this case, a DOI. Let's show you an example of how to cite a company website. So you will recall that it's on the reference, the full reference is on a separate page at the end of the document. Let's do the full reference first. So item 1, first element, the author or source. Well, this is a website from Deloitte, right? It's Deloitte's website. So Deloitte is not going to tell us that Sue in their marketing department wrote this portion of their website. So think in terms of who is responsible for the authorship. That would be Deloitte. So we have Deloitte followed by a period. The next element is the publication date. Now, on a company website, sometimes we do not find publication dates by sections or articles within the website. So that means that I have to scroll all the way down to the bottom of the page for a company website and find the copyright date. Here we see copyright 2021. So we don't have a month and a day, just the year, and we enter that in our reference. The third element is the title of the work. So we're using these two sections, Deloitte US and our global network, and also under that, a story that matters. This will help the reader go directly to where they need to find the information that we're using. So in our reference, also, we have a two-part title now. We have capitalized the first letter of the first word, Deloitte. We have also capitalized US because that's a proper noun. And we've capitalized the A, the first letter of the first word in the second part of the title, a story, followed by a period. The fourth element is the publication information. Now, in this case, who is responsible for publishing this website? Deloitte. So our publisher is exactly the same as our author or source. So APA tells us if the publisher is exactly the same as the author, you do not have to repeat it. So we just leave that portion empty in our reference. And then finally, we have the URL. So we are going to copy that from our browser and paste it at the end of the reference. Now, once I've written the full reference, the citation is easy. So it would be Deloitte. Remember, it contains author, year of publication, and page number. So I've got Deloitte, comma, 2021 in parentheses at the end of the two sentences in this paragraph that contain information from that Deloitte website. There's no page number because this website doesn't contain page numbers. So that makes it pretty easy to find. Now, a 10K, reference and citation. So at the bottom of the slide, you'll see the 5 elements in a reference. So the first is the author or source. Remember, a separate page at the end of the document called references. Our author, we see in 2 different places. It's Coca-Cola Company. So at the top, it says Form 10K Coca-Cola CO for company, but we're going to use the full name of the company. So it's going to be Coca-Cola Company, comma, the, because we do not put articles like the at the beginning when lists are alphabetized. So Coca-Cola Company, comma, the. Next is our publication date. So these are going to vary on 10Ks and other types of financial statements. Sometimes you will see nothing but, for instance, what we have here, period ending in 2019-12-31. So that's December 31st, 2019. But we're looking for the publication date, not the period ending. So it appears that the information in this 10K is actually for 2019. So if we don't have a date of publication, we would use the date of the contents of the financial statement, which would be, in this case, 2019, but this 10K has a couple of other dates on it. Here's another one. Again, for the fiscal year ended December 31st, 2019. Okay, so again, that would be for the information for 2019, but it wasn't actually published until 2020 because they didn't have all the information from 2019 until 2020. But in this case, it's kind of easy for us because it says published 2020 02 24. So that's February 24th, 2020. That's the date we want to use. In this case, the publication date. It's going to go in parentheses, beginning with the year 2020, comma, February 24. And remember, we put periods or full stops between the 5 elements. So next is the title. And the title is right up at the top, very clear for us, Form 10K. So that's our next element, the title of the work, Form 10K. Then we need the publication information. So sometimes you'll see the 10K on the company website. In that case, it would be the Coca-Cola company again, and we wouldn't need to put it here. But in this case, the SEC has published this. So that is going to be our publisher, SEC. And you can use SEC. You don't have to spell out Security and Exchange Commission because everybody knows that SEC stands for that. And then finally, we have the URL, which we got from our browser. All right, so the citation in the text, again, it's going to include the author or source and the year of publication. So it will look something like this. The paragraph will be your sentence, and then in parentheses at the end of the sentence, we have Coca-Cola Company. We don't have to add the here. 2020, P period 4, because 10Ks are numbered by pages. They have pages. It looks like the next citation also came from page 4. And then the third citation in the paragraph came from page 5. So once you've got your full reference, the citation is easy peasy. All right, my reference page with those two references will look something like this. Notice it's alphabetized with Coca-Cola first and then Deloitte. Also notice that the first line of each entry is left aligned and the subsequent lines are indented, 1 tab space or 1/2 inch. And the list is alphabetized, don't forget. So helpful resources. There are all kinds of nuances. What if I have multiple authors? What if it's a second edition? And you're going to have to look those up. Many of you are familiar with Purdue University's OWL online writing lab because you have learned to use MLA in high school. But we do not find that Purdue University's OWL is too helpful for our students because it kind of assumes that all of the references are written sources. And in business, that's not always true. So instead of Purdue OWL, this is what we would suggest. If you have multiple authors or any other kind of issue, and you do a search in your browser, put apastyle.org and then whatever your issue is, or APA Style blog. These are 2 official sites for APA, and it's going to be much easier for you to find the answers to the questions you have using this source. So I would just Google APA Style blog, multiple authors, or apastyle.org, no publication date, to find out what I do if I can't actually find a publication date. Many of you will ask, can I use a citation machine? Of course, citation machines, even McDermott Library has one, but they are always, the format is always incorrect. It is always incorrect. You have to double check them. They are helpful to kind of get all the information together, but then you're going to have to know how to separate it, where the elements go, and how to format it, whether to italicize or not. So make sure that you are double checking if you're using a citation machine. If you would like to get an individual appointment with a tutor to help you with your citations and references and even with your paraphrasing, you can make an appointment on our website at bcc.utdallas.edu. It's free for JSON students. You can also get assistance with any of your job search documents, resumes, cover letters, LinkedIn, any written assignment you have in your class, and then also any presentations that you have. You can get feedback on the content, the delivery, and the slides. If you're not sure even how to get started on your project or paper, then you can schedule an appointment and we'll brainstorm with you. Finally, for those of you learning to speak English, we have a specialist for English language learners. So you can also schedule an appointment for that. So good luck with your citations and references, and please reach out to us if we can help you. Thank you.